What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day. I'm going to try to go over some of the wins we had this weekend and then some of the losses we had this weekend. I will say before we get started, guys, I feel like the past 3 weeks have just been a repetition of each other over and over and over again. And what I mean by that is we've had a lot of good setups. We've had a lot of good plays. We've had a lot of, like potential energy almost, plays that could cash as four-mans, and just things are just barely not hitting. And it's been very, very frustrating, especially because a lot of these plays, they'll hit, they'll half of it will hit. So that's what I call a setup. For example, we have a setup tonight, Justin Fields and Tyreek Hill. And we have a setup, so this is potential energy. We could potentially hit a 9x with this, or an 8.5x, whatever it is. And we've had a lot of things like this where it's just like one thing will not go right or something like that. And we did catch some four-mans here and there. This is a good example of that. We have we had two setups today. We had this setup, and this one was supposed to happen at noon, and I was excited about it. I was like, look, maybe we could hit this play. This is a good play that we could potentially hit. We took Jordan Love and Romeo Doubs over in that second half. This was a good play. Game obviously went into overtime and such, but the play ends up DMPing. They end up legitimately not even playing out their Counter-Strike game, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, why is the Counter-Strike game not being played? I really don't ever see that. Maybe I see that like once a month or something. And unfortunately, like the one game that we had a setup for today ends up not participating, and we just get refunded our money back, even though we had a solid play in this Green Bay game last night. So you'll see here throughout the board, I'm going to try to keep this video like not super, super long, just because there's a ton I could get into. But Colorado, I took the unders here, and I took the unders here on Amaron Miller, and then I took the over-under on Jalen Hurts. I will say, guys, like, this play right here is beautiful because it's two quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Caden Salter, that are run-first quarterbacks. They don't throw the ball very well. They don't throw the ball very much, and their team likes to run the ball if possible. So Caden Salter did that. He only got like 120 yards or something versus BYU, one of the best defenses actually in college football. And the same thing with Jalen Hurts in Tampa Bay. Jalen Hurts winning this game pretty much the whole game. If you guys have seen an Eagles game, you know what happens. It's running the ball. It's doing tush pushes. It's playing the Eagles way. And again, like, you can love it or hate it. They know how to win, and they stick to their plan pretty much. So it's really easy to predict how the Eagles normally play these games. Here's another League of Legends and Valorant pick, and then here's a pick with doubling down on Caden Salters actually. And then I will say, guys, congrats to one of my VIP members, man. He hit more than $1,000 on one of his plays this weekend. It was actually with this four-man I sent out, and then he paired it up with the Jalen Hurts pass, yard, free play, whatever that is, and yeah, he hit for more than $1,000. So that is absolutely insane. Crazy stuff there. Going into some of the losses, guys. Again, I'm going to be very short about this, but if you know what we do here on the channel, we do things called correlation. So here's a good example of correlation. You either take the overs or the unders together in League of Legends, and League of Legends is a great esport sport to bet on, and it's been very good to us. And unfortunately, these guys do go under together because their team got absolutely smoked in, I think, the second or third map. And then we have correlation here. You'll see, like, here's a prime example of this. We have two plays right here, this play and this play, and both of these were setups on Sunday night. So we went to bed Sunday night. We had both of these set up, and these Counter-Strike games were happening overnight, and we set it up with Garrett Nussmeier under, and then we set it up with this Duke under, right, for the second half, because Duke didn't throw very much in the second half because they're up by like 24 points or something. And Counter-Strike misses here, and Counter-Strike misses here, and I believe this guy on Counter-Strike was the one player on his team to go over. Okay, the one guy to go over was this guy here. And then very similar stuff here. Ohio unfortunately does not hit here. Caleb Williams, barely. All of these discounts here, you'll see, like, I'll hit my play, discount doesn't hit. I'll hit my play, discount doesn't hit. I'll hit my play, discount doesn't hit. Just over and over and over again. It's just like a lot of very unfortunate events. Same thing here. Ohio State, these guys were, I don't know, not very close actually to hitting in that first half, but Ohio State needed that second half to really start picking it up. I thought they were going to come out swinging. And then this play right here also, again, we have Georgia Tech unders, which Haynes King is just like Julian Sason. They're a much better team than Colorado. Not Julian Sason, Caden Salters on Colorado, where Haynes King is a run-first quarterback. He's kind of like Jalen Hurts. They know how to win these games, but they win this game running the football with their running backs, running the football with Haynes King. So I take these guys unders almost every week, and Haynes King always pretty much goes under for me, even though I like Haynes King. I think he's a great quarterback, but I take these two unders together, very correlated. And then we have Jackson Dart and Justin Herbert. Again, if you asked anyone an hour before this game, do you think the Giants are going to beat the Chargers, the undefeated Chargers? I mean, if you asked 100 people, you'd probably have 99 out of 100 people say that no, I don't think Jackson Dart in the first game that he's starting, he had 1 week to prepare for this game, would win this game. And again, credit to Jackson Dart. I like Jackson Dart. I always bet on Jackson Dart's overs last year on Ole Miss. I always use him as an example of a great passing quarterback on a college football team like last year. I'm a huge Jackson Dart's fan, but did I think he was going to win this game versus the Chargers? No, right? And I took his over just because I thought they were going to be losing from the jump, and I thought they were going to be passing a lot. And that's the exact opposite of what happened. It's not like they had some miracle comeback in the end. They were just straight up winning this entire game, and Chargers, they just kept throwing interceptions and stuff like that. And if Chargers do win this game, and if they're winning this game by like 10 points, then Justin Herbert is going to go under his pass completions because he's not going to throw as much. We saw a lot of his pass completions, or some pass completions, come in the very end of that game where he's trying to lead like a 2-minute drill, and then Jackson Dart probably wouldn't have went over because he would have passed the ball more and more and more if they're losing that game. And you saw pretty much that whole fourth quarter they were just rushing with Jackson Dart, then they would rush with Jackson Dart, Scatabo. So those are kind of the differences in some of these games. So man, it has been, I don't know, I feel like we've been doing we've been having good plays, we just have not hit things together, and it's been so frustrating. So I don't know, hopefully you guys understand that. It's tough stuff sometimes, and it's tough to win, right? That's why, when we have months that win, we have weekends that win, that's why we celebrate it here, because it's not easy to beat Prizepicks. Prizepicks knows what they're doing on a lot of their plays. They know how to take money from people. And over the long term, if you guys don't know, we are profitable on this channel. I'm waiting for some of these graphs to update. But yeah, last year we went up more than 600 units. This summer we're up about 100 units, and then in 2025 we're up more than 200 units. So over the long term, we do normally beat Prizepicks. It's just been, like I said, the past month and a half, it's just been very up and down, and you'll kind of see that in this graph, where we just need to find some more traction here. And that again, I'm not blaming on anything other than myself, but I feel like a lot of the sports that we've been betting on have been good, have been hitting together, and have been correlated, maybe other than Counter-Strike. So, we'll see there. We got actually 3 plays today. So before I go to the ONYX pick, let's actually talk about this pick here. We have ONYX discount, and I'll actually get into this ONYX discount a little bit more because I think this is a trap play. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to middle it. What I did, it was, if you guys remember, it was Monday Night Football, Texans and Buccaneers, and CJ Stroud had a discount. CJ Stroud's discount, it was very similar numbers, okay? So you'll see the 2 picks here. It was like CJ Stroud, his normal line was like 220, and then his discounted line was about 200 or like 199 or whatever, right? And again, you can just see that I feel like this is a trap play because we have Denver. Denver's likely to win against Cincinnati, so they're likely to not throw the ball as much. And then you just have, a backup quarterback on Cincinnati. So Denver is very likely to win this game, and that's going to cause ONYX to not throw as much in that third or fourth quarter. Okay, I always talk about stuff like that. I am middling it, which means that I'm taking his over on 199, and then I'm taking his under on 222, okay? So if he gets anywhere between 200 to 222 passing yards, so if he gets anywhere in that range, then we would hit this play and we would hit this play, okay? So that is what middling is. It's a little bit more of like an advanced strategy. You have to deploy 2 units to do it, but I think this is a prime example of a good spot to middle. So I think he'll probably get around 210, 215 yards, and if he does that, we would hit both plays, okay? And we actually successfully did that again with that CJ Stroud play a couple of weeks ago. So with these plays, I'm taking ONYX over for his discount, and I'm taking Paddock on League of Legends to go over. I'm not going to go super in depth with this, but if you do the math, if you average it out, his team is heavily favored to win this game. It's a championship actually game for these 2 teams, so they're going to be bringing their A game. But if you do the math, he is actually averaging, or he should be averaging, about 20.5 kills in these games against similar opponents. Okay, and pretty much most of these games that they do play against this BFX team, they they do go ahead and win, okay? So do I think he's going to get 20 kills? He honestly might. I'm not going to lie. He honestly might get 20 kills, but I think he'll probably get more like 18 or 19 kills, okay? So 16.5 I think is really low for this here. That's why I'm going with that there. And then before I get into the one where I'm taking the under, I do want to say on ONYX odds, I'm going to take Jets +3 point spread for tonight's game versus the Dolphins. I actually think Jets have a pretty good chance of winning this game. I think Jets and Dolphins, two pretty bad teams, so I think it's kind of 50-50, but I am taking Jets to lose within a field goal. So if Jets end up losing by 1 point, by 2 points, or by 3 points, then we would also hit this play, and that's what the spread is, okay? So if you don't have ONYX odds yet, this play is on ONYX odds. This play is going to be linked in the first pinned comment, and you can actually tail this play with that pinned comment. You can get ONYX odds, and you can get a free month of my VIP with ONYX odds by just signing up with my code. So that link should take you there. You can also text me the word ONYX, and I'll get you guys into the VIP and get you guys the instructions for the VIP on ONYX odds. Again, my number's right here. You guys can text me ONYX. And what's important about this, guys, is you'll get my VIP for a month, and you'll get $100 in free picks on ONYX odds, okay? So you'll get $100 for free to bet. So you can, deploy your units however you want. If you want to bet on the MLB, if you want to bet on NFL tonight or college football next weekend, then you can have $100 in free picks, and those free picks come in the form of 4 $25 free entries, okay? So it's like someone is handing you $25 4 times and say, hey, go wild. You can bet on whatever you want, and you can keep what you get after those bets, okay? So a free $100 on ONYX odds. Again, if you don't like money, maybe don't do this, but if you like money and you like betting and getting free money on an app by just maybe taking 5 minutes to sign up for it, definitely get ONYX odds. Use my code detective, and I'll get you guys into the VIP for free for a month for doing that for me. All right, guys. So I guess third play, because this is the first play, this is the second play, Jets point spread, and this is the third play. ONYX under 222.5 pass yards. Again, I already talked about the middling strategy. And then I'm taking Jalen Warren. Sorry, not Jalen Warren. I don't know why I read that as Jalen Warren. Jalen Waddle to go under 4.5 receptions. And this is really as simple as, if you look at FanDuel, if you look at Underdog, if you look at DraftKings, a lot of these very, very smart sports books. I always think FanDuel is kind of the pinnacle of player props. So they're the best at setting player prop lines. His line right now to go under is -154. Okay, so -154, which is really, really good odds to get player prop wise on Prizepicks. Okay, so on FanDuel, which I think is kind of like the holy grail of player props, his line is -154 to go under this line right now, okay? And if you guys saw earlier, we actually took Tyreek Hill over 5 receptions, which Tyreek Hill, the number 1 receiver on this offense, and then we have Jalen Warren, I think, honestly, a good step behind Tyreek Hill in this offense, already at 4.5 receptions, okay? So 4.5 I think is way too high for him, so I'm taking him under. So again, hopefully Jalen Waddle goes under. Hopefully ONYX gets like 200 to 222 yards, so we hit both of these, and then again, Paddock goes over, yeah, we can hit these plays here. So these are going to be the plays I'm locking in, guys. I don't know. I feel like we got some good stuff on the board this week, and had some good setups going into this weekend. We had 4 setups already, and I think maybe one of them cashed with that Colorado game, and then we picked up another through the weekend or something. But yeah, it's been one of those weeks, one of those couple of weeks. Again, gonna find some traction soon, and once we do find that traction, then we'll maybe have a 30 to 40 unit weekend on the horizon. Again, if we can hit 5 or 6 of these in a weekend, which we are super close to doing, then we can go up 30 units in a weekend, and it'll just be a massive, massive performance for us. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for the support and everything, and hopefully you guys appreciate the transparency. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video for some more picks.